Alright guys, welcome back to another Fortnite video, and in this one, it is time to cover the brand new Avengers Endgame and Fortnite teaser that just released today, and we're going to be dissecting it, go over like what it exactly means, as well as covering the one from yesterday because we haven't talked about that. We won't spend too much time on that one since it has already been out a day, and then also we'll discuss again the possibility of there being challenges for this event, and then after that we'll go through a little bit of update news such as like a 1v1 or duel mode possibly coming to the game soon. So it's going to be a very fun video. If you do enjoy it and you want to support me, be sure to use my supporter creator code TheLlamaSir, TheLlamasir, and on top of that, hit that subscribe button down below because I love keeping you guys updated with challenge guides and news about updates and things like that. So if you don't want to miss that, be sure to hit that subscribe button, and also while you're at it, leave a like down below for this new event with the Avengers, or if you're going to see the movie, hit that like button down below if you're seeing the movie. I know I'm excited, but without further ado here, let's jump on into it with the first thing I want to cover in this video. And this is real quick, going over some details and ideas about the preview from yesterday's teaser, because as you guys know, I do like to go in depth with them and maybe come up with some things that you may not have heard yet. So if we take a look at the teaser from yesterday, it's very interesting, and maybe you're not very familiar with Avengers, so I'll try to explain that a little bit. But basically what they showed, and this is very interesting because it goes hand in hand with the first teaser that we got, but if you take a look at it, this is the one we got. As you can see, there is a hand holding up a interesting axe right there, which is actually the Stormbreaker axe, I'm pretty sure. It's the one that Thor uses in Avengers Infinity War. It's also got the little like Groot handle on it, so it is that one specifically. And basically, keeping it real simple here, this is Thor's hammer. So already we have confirmation that, well, at least something to do with Captain America is coming into the game with this crossover. But on top of that, we also have confirmation right here with this promo that Thor, or something to do with Thor, is also going to be in it, which is super interesting because comparing that to last year with Avengers Infinity War, we only had the one character, Thanos. So that's going to be very interesting for sure, seeing how they involve the different characters and things like that. We also have the third one to go over, so don't worry about that. That's coming up in just a sec here. Just a couple more things I wanted to bring up with this. Also, with this item, you can take a look and see that one of the skins is holding on to it, which appears to be Fish Stick. I asked you guys on Twitter if you thought it was that skin as well, and a lot of you agreed with me, so I do believe this is that skin. And by the way, if you guys want to follow me on Twitter, it's simply TheLlamaSir, but over on Twitter. I love having fun over there and hanging out and talking about stuff. But yeah, speaking of which, since there is a skin holding this, it's not like a Thor skin, it makes me think that maybe this is an item you'll be able to pick up in a limited time mode. There's also something else it could be, but basically if this is an item, it would be very similar to the Captain America shield picture that we got for the first teaser. And with that being said, you would have Captain America's shield maybe as one item that you pick up, and it gives you different abilities, you know, that Captain America has. And then with this axe right here, if you find it in game, maybe you pick it up and you get like some abilities that Thor would have. Again, that's not for sure yet, but it seems to make sense, again, judging by how a skin is holding it and not actually Thor. And then like what special abilities could you have? Well, maybe like lightning. I mean, Thor, lightning, kind of goes hand in hand, so I would assume some stuff around that. Now the other thing, and then we'll move on to the new teaser, but basically this could also be a pickaxe in the game, something you can buy in the item shop. Again, this is just speculation as of right now, but that would make a pretty cool pickaxe, and I could see them doing something like that, especially since we've had, you know, what would you call it, like certain crossover type items. Like I'm thinking of the Marshmallow skin. Obviously that was a crossover with something real life, which was obviously Marshmallow, so I think it could be possible that it could also be a pickaxe in the item shop. But then again, looking at Captain America's shield, that would maybe make it seem more so like an item, so we'll have to wait and see about that. But without further ado, let's move on into it with the newest teaser that we got, and it's pretty interesting, and here it is right here. So there's a few things I want to go over with this and dissect about it, because yeah, there's definitely some things to talk about here. But as you can see, the biggest thing that pops out right when you see it is the fact that you have the character using Iron Man gloves. That is right, guys, Iron Man gloves, which is crazy. This is shaping up to be an awesome event. So basically, again, there's a few things I want to draw from this. The first of which is that, again, it's Iron Man. So far we have Iron Man, Thor, and Captain America, at least in terms of like things in the game. Again, we don't know if like the full characters will be in the game, similar to how Thanos was in is like a full character. I don't know if he'll turn into the characters, but it is interesting that they had, I think this is the Raptor skin. Now with that being said, it does lead me again to believe that this is for a game mode where, like, similar to picking up the Thanos gauntlet, you actually can pick up different, you know, Marvel themed items like Captain America's shield shield again. Also, the Stormbreaker. And now with this teaser, it looks like you can pick up like Iron Man gloves and use them, you know, similar to how Iron Man would. So yeah, definitely interesting there. And then leading me into my next point, what would these then do? Well, since they're Iron Man, I think you could obviously, you know, have his abilities. Maybe you can fly around for a short amount of time, similar to the jetpack. That would actually make a lot of sense. They could just, you know, use the jetpack animations that they already have, but switch them up a little bit so that you're using these Iron Man gloves, or again, whatever you want to call them, to actually fly into the air. That's my guess for how these might be used, but that would definitely be pretty cool. I'd be excited about that. And then on top of that, you also have to have his abilities where he like fires lasers out of his gloves. I mean, you gotta have that. How can you not have that? That famous like powering up sound where it's like the laser shooting out. I mean, that would be so cool. So I don't know if there'd be a third ability, but yeah, like these are shaping up to be maybe items for an LTM. But then that also brings up the question of, does this mean that there won't be skins, since all of the things we've seen so far seem to be items? Again, it's very hard to say right now. I think there's, you know, always the possibility that there could be skins. I just don't think that these teasers are pointing towards skins. It seems to be more on the side of items. But still, I mean, having like a Captain America skin, you know that would be pretty cool. Or of course an Iron Man skin, all of that stuff would be awesome. But then after that though, that's not the only thing we have to talk about with this Avengers event. Again, reminder real quick actually, it is coming out tomorrow the 25th, and we got to talk about something with that as well coming up right after here. But something else to go over real quick, are there going to be challenges for free rewards with this event? Now we have talked about this a little bit before in a previous video, but I've had another idea that I want to bring up that makes me think that there will be challenges and will be items. Again, it's hard to tell, this is just a guess as of right now, but it's based off of, you know, a lot of what has happened in the past with different events and stuff like that. So starting off here, I do want to say that with the first event, you know, a very long time ago when Thanos came into the game, with that Infinity Gauntlet LTM, I think it was called, we didn't have challenges for free items back then, but you have to keep in mind that I don't think we had any challenges for items for a little bit after that. Maybe I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, but it took a little bit for them to actually introduce like events with free items to get. And when I say items, I mean like, you know, back blings and stuff like that. So I don't think that's any confirmation that we won't be seeing challenges. Now with that being said, I do think that it's very likely that we will be seeing some sort of challenges, simply because all of the recent like special events we've had for the most part have had challenges with items. And going back, I mean, you have the most recent one with Royale. We also had the Buccaneer's bounty event with special items that you could unlock through that, and a bunch more, including the marshmallow event, which again was a sort of crossover already, so I think it does point towards the possibility of it happening. Now again, it's probably like 50-50 if it does happen, but I mean, come on, Epic Games, come on, give us some like Marvel themed items, or at least like some form of special item that we can get through doing challenges. Maybe you have to like find Infinity Stones on the map. That would be so cool for a challenge. I'd love to help you guys out with a guide for that. But on top of that, that also reminds me of like the Wreck-It Ralph emote that we got. I think it was the Hot Marat. So they have done like special crossover items and stuff before, so I think it's a possibility. Oh, and then I actually just remembered, I was happening to look in game a little bit, but the previous challenges we had for, again, Royale just recently ended, so that could be meaning that maybe we'll be getting more challenges. I don't know, maybe they're making space for it. We never have like, you know, event challenges at the same time, and Royale and Buccaneer's bounty are sort of a good example of that, because right when Buccaneer's bounty ended, there might have been a little bit of time in between, but then we got the Royale challenges soon after. So maybe with the Royale challenges ending, that means that we might be getting more challenges for this Avengers event. Again, speculation, but I mean, come on, I'd be so excited to see some special items. I'd love to help you guys out with challenge guides as long as my schedule allows it, because tomorrow is also the day that the week 9 challenges are supposed to release, so we'll see about that. But yeah, and then there's one final thing I wanted to talk about that has to do with Avengers, and then we'll jump into it real quick with a little bit of update news I have for today. But basically, I wanted to circle around back to that event type stuff that's happening at Loot Lake with all of the runes and things going around, because obviously, as you guys may know, the second rune has locked into the center. But with that being said, it's leaning towards this not actually being for the Avengers event. I mean, it's possible it could play some role in it, I guess, but at least like it's not going to happen with all 5 runes already being in place. Obviously, there's not enough time for that, and it's shaping up to be more something to do with season 9, since of course the timing of the runes, we still have 3 left, and of course, you know, maybe whatever's gonna happen when it opens, if it does open, I mean, I'm just guessing. It seems like there's a door in the center, but I don't think it's for the Avengers stuff, so I did want to bring that up. But now I'm thinking that it's not for the Avengers stuff, since they did take quite a long time with the second rune, so we'll have to wait and see about that. But yeah, guys, then moving on to the next thing I wanted to talk about that is a bit of update news is here to finish off the video because there's a couple of interesting things, not a ton of stuff, but starting it out here, there is talk of a 1v1 mode coming into the game. Now, this news isn't exactly brand new, but I still wanted to bring it up because I don't think we've talked about it before, and it's pretty interesting because a 1v1 mode, or more specifically, they're calling it like a duel mode, could be coming into the game. So if you've been practicing in creative and stuff like that, this could be something you're interested in. Now, speaking of creative, I'm not exactly sure if it is for creative because basically this info comes from Darkvale on Reddit, who is one of the Epic Games employees, but he comments a lot on the Fortnite creative subreddit. And basically in response to a question about, 1v1, he said that yes, we're planning to add duel mode support for 1v1, winner stays on. So it's a little bit confusing. Maybe it'll just be for creative, but either way, that's cool. I mean, I'd love to see some sort of LTM with that where like you have a bunch of mini 1v1s going on and then, as he says, the winner stays on, moving on to like the next round. I think that would be pretty cool. So hopefully they add a mode like that, but that's the info we have on it right now, so we'll have to stay tuned. But then for the final thing I want to talk about in this video, when is the next update even coming out? It's been a little bit odd because today is Wednesday, which is usually the latest that we would get an update, and I would assume they would have put up a big update for the Avengers stuff that is obviously coming out tomorrow. Maybe it's already in the game, but I don't know if it would be. It's also very odd that they just haven't released an update yet. I mean, I would assume if they do release an update, it would have to be tomorrow morning on Thursday, but still, very odd. This hasn't happened in a long time that they've put an update out this late, or at least, I mean, I think they've maybe once before put out an update on Thursday. Can't quite remember. I remember like sometimes that the challenges were like delayed till like Friday, so maybe that has something to do with it. We'll see. Maybe this week's challenges will be delayed as well. And then again, as a reminder, as I've said, I think in the previous video I put up, the next update should be 8.50 according to like comments by Mr. Popo TFS, and also according to the Save the World roadmap. But yeah, guys, that is going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, be sure to hit that subscribe button for more update news videos coming out soon. On top of that, you can check out my previous video on the other Avengers teaser and some update news, and then on the right, going over some like Season 9 stuff that has to do with the Loot Lake event. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I will see you in the next one.